Jessica and I are here today with Tom Rooney, who is the president of Mark Winter Homes. So welcome, Tom.
Thank you.
We thought we'd love to have a chance to sit down with you and talk about the challenges of new construction that you see for 2022.
Okay. Well, I think the biggest challenges for us as an industry is going to be affordability and providing product that will fit marketplace needs in an affordable way. Inflationary pressure today is much higher than it has been in the last 20 years, and we're all going to have to deal with that and adapt our marketplace and our product to meet the needs of our consumers.
When you mention inflation, Tom, one of the things that we hear a lot about, particularly in today's news, is transitory inflation. Can you explain what that means, and if you see the type of inflationary pressures we have in new construction as transitory?
Well, transitory inflation basically is those items that go up and down, and we have seen some of that in the lumber and metal that go into the houses. Now, although that's a large portion, it's not we're talking about 20 to 30%, so we're not talking the full house. Regular inflation, however, is all the other items that creep in. So all of our normal standard price increases, and we've seen way more than normal in the last year. And I think that's happening for a couple different reasons. Some of it is product supply, which would be the transitory portion of that, but we're also seeing labor costs increase. And that's more important because it's going to be long term. I don't see housing prices coming down at all. Lower lumber prices might help moderate some of that, as will some of the lower metal prices, but the higher pricing is here to stay.
Okay.
Can you tell us what building products have been affected most by the inflation?
Really anything to do with wood has been highly affected. Cabinet prices are higher. Obviously the wood that goes into a house, your framing lumber, things of that nature have gone up and down. But in general, pretty much all the way across the board, everything's been affected. We've seen pretty much every piece of material that goes into a house go up. We have not seen the labor prices go up yet, but we're very concerned that may become a very, very big factor in 2022.
Do you expect any of these prices to come back or deflate in the near future?
You might see some minor pullback in lumber prices, and then maybe in some of the metal that go into the sheet metal for, let's say, your HVAC systems. But I don't think long term or even short term it's going to really affect the price of the house. It will just help us moderate any increases that come from different areas.
You talked about labor, Tom, and that factoring in. Do you see that as becoming worse? Do you see that as a constant, or do you see that as a fluctuating factor?
Well, we're in a very competitive market from an employment standpoint. You can see that every day as you drive down the street, the billboards, everybody offering, these large amounts for starting pay. It's a very competitive marketplace right now for the employee. So those costs tend to get pushed or passed back to the consumer. They have to, as we don't have the margins to absorb that type of price increase.
Okay. And if you could advise consumers who are considering building a home, what would you say?
Now's the time to do it. Now's the time to build. Mortgage rates still are low, and they still will remain low, but I guess most forecasts have them at least 1% higher by the end of the year. And then I don't see any of our prices moderating. They're gonna flatten out a little bit, but they're all gonna increase. Like I said, we're a little concerned that our labor costs are gonna push up that some of the labor pricing that goes into a house, which will increase the cost of that house.
Okay, well, we appreciate your time, Tom, and we appreciate the guidance and everything that Mark Winter Homes does for new construction in the Fox Cities community.
Thank you.
Thanks again.